Welcome back for another gorgeous weekly roundup here on Leading Crypto. We are going to be taking a look essentially at everything that happened over the week here, kind of wrap it up from what we've been discussing over the last few days. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, of course, the SPX. We're going to take a look at Ethereum. A couple of altcoins. Matic is one of them, and then one of the members in the group just actually brought up Loopring LRC, so we'll be probably taking a peek at that as well. If you think that sounds interesting to you, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you stick around for the entire video, and let's just jump right into it. How are you guys doing today, Max and Magic?
Very well, mate.
All good in the hood.
Perfect. Yeah. If you guys didn't catch last night's episode of Debate Crypto as well, Magic was on there last night with Crypto Weatherman. Be sure to give that a tune. We had a pretty great interview this week with Gareth Soloway as well. You can see that video popping up right here on your screen. If you have some time over the weekend, also give that a good watch. Really also good to hear other people's thoughts, opinions, as we kind of dissect and divulge into what goes on in the market. So we had a disappearing Max.
All good. I'll just get her rolling.
I was just turning my fan off.
I probably should
the only fan.
The only fan.
There you go. All right, guys. Bitcoin in a nutshell. What did we talk about even last night? We still have a nice range here, and that if we reclaimed 20,300 was kind of the trigger for me that we would be looking up to at least the gold pocket, which was coming in right here at the 12M1, which was the POC. It has shifted down. But you got a really nice reaction off of it. Where did you find support? Found support on actually your VWAPs. This is something I pointed out, that you just have the weekly and monthly kind of lining up together. Now, there's not a lot of data on it, but you got to wick into it, evading the low of the range, and then you've come and actually cleared the high of the range. Now, one thing that I have discussed with the group, sorry, I know this chart's ugly, my day trading charts, we were talking about how we had left out one section up here. That was the only box on the chart up there, was looking to fill out this old PVA on the 15-minute. And it did come in, actually presented a nice short. I've taken profit on that into the 12M1. So familiar levels, 20,688. So if we're going to see this continue up, we need to see this living up above this zone of resistance. And if you start doing that, you can look for that potential continuation in that case. Now, the only thing you don't want to do is find yourself up here marrying the idea that we're going to go to 22.2, 22.5, and then get caught at the high because it fails to push. So it will be important to be paying attention to the order flow in this instance, so that you're not getting trapped. That's always a possibility, because you have come up and taken these local highs. You still have these highs right here that you could come in and take, but just something to be aware of. You start giving up the 12M1, 20,688. Obviously, the VWAP is just beneath it, so I'm giving that a little bit of a leniency here. But you start breaking down from here, well, and the next target's going to be 20,434, and then down into the range low, which again is another gold pocket. So the gold pockets have been playing out really, really nicely. Actually, no, take that back. This is something Max has pointed out before. It always seems that wick goes to where the gold pocket would be. So you would be looking to take this low into the range low, potentially right around 20,275 to 20,300. So nice little zone there. And that is, that was the area we were working off of before. Anything below that, and I do favor, we do take these lows eventually and come down to like the monthly pivot, as we've been talking about right here, right? That would be what your play would be. So now is the time to be paying attention, because now is the time where you have actionable areas to work off of. Not here, right? We're looking to work off of the highs and lows, take good trades, right? Those where the best trades are going to be found. So in terms of the DXY, we covered that the other day. I was just talking to you guys about this, where we were coming up into a weekly level here and the gold pocket. We had said that this is going to be our bounce target off of this weekly swing failure pattern, right? So very, very nice, very good TA. Like, it's just an easy trade to take at that point, and you've already blown through that. I don't think pivots are all that relevant on the DXY, but who knows? And you are looking back down saying, is this going to retrace the full move, hit 110? And what we discussed was, if you break through 110 here, and this doesn't hold as support, you do have a reversal pattern at play, and we'd be eyeballing about 105. And that's right in line with high time frame ideas that this has reached the top of a 3-month channel, has also reached, the high of this bearish bat, meaning that can it take these highs on an SFP and, complete the target, get that extra 886, that extra like 0.01? Yes, and that can happen. But the point of it is you've reached resistance and quite the expansion, and you've reached the target of expansion. So again, this is just the percentage of this range right here expanded. So we're only looking for percentage. We're not looking for one-to-one linear moves on this because it's such a high time frame. So the percentage is far more, in my opinion, relevant to price than the actual linear like one-to-ones, in terms of basis points. So jobs came out better than expected this morning. That was a big driving factor. But again, what did we talk about yesterday where we were saying the SPX has done what? Come down to the EQ of our channel. This is macro support, so we need to see this holding. It was also the 0.5, right? So front running the 2021 low, which I did not really want to go see. So we said probably get a bounce here, backfill this gap, which obviously you've done. And now it becomes a question of can this rally and start reclaiming resistances? We'll see. It's a wait and see type of game. But if that's happening and this is coming up to the top of the trend, one would expect Bitcoin to be acting accordingly. So that's as simple as it gets, guys. You just got to connect the dots. You've got support here. If it gives, there's still support beneath you, but support here, gap just above, and you did get the gap fill, and you go from there. Very, very simple. In terms of DXY, also very simple. And then so is Bitcoin. I do cover alts as well. One I am going to cover is something that we've talked about in the group, Tasos and Matic. This is just a really quick update on Matic. This is something that I was looking for and presented, I think, towards the end of October, like the 27th or something, with the group. We were talking about how this is coming into a nice zone of confluence here. This is just a Fibonacci channel. You could also draw this as a, just a regular channel, but this works with both linear and log. So now I can use it for linear and log without having to have two channels because the channeling tool does not. But we're coming up into some pretty key targets, regardless of news. Like, again, we talked about this over a week ago. This was going to be the path that you're on, because if you zoom out to like a weekly chart, you can see, and I'll clip it. I actually found the live stream where we talked about this, and just very casually going over how this is still a very good looking weekly chart. And you can see why. It doesn't look like a lot of the alts that are just crushed down to like their 90% all-time lows. So this actually looks like people are still buying it, and it looks like this project could be going somewhere. Unlike a lot of altcoins that are down 99% and are just pump and dumps, this one seems to have a decent chart. So you would be looking for this to come up into this region right here and break into the gold pocket. Now this is log scale, not linear. And the reason I bring that up is because this lines up nicely with the one-to-one, right, and your gold pocket. And if you were to take this out of log scale, you can see that you've actually got a further target here, even above the one-to-one. And that is going to be about $1.92 to $2.01. Now, the reason I bring that up is you have a local high here at $1.75 from back in March when things actually got underway with the Gartley from Bitcoin. So what you would be looking at here is if this breaks through this one-to-one area, so we're looking about, I would say, anywhere from $1.20 to $1.42, kind of a wide range there. It's a big box, but you've got an MPOC at 141. I'd be looking to watch these highs. If these highs are taken, right, I'm not saying that this thing's going to dump to all-time lows. I'm just saying be careful if you're buying this on the move up. This is a great area to be looking for take profits if it gets through this region. So first major area is coming in on Matic, and then you have a very clear play right here where you're looking at these highs, or if you wanted to, you could even come over here and say, this is where the daily demand really, or weekly demand in this case, really got underway in terms of supply right here at about $1.82. Closures above that on a weekly basis, that's in the future way down the line. If reached, that is where things begin to look, I wouldn't say juicy, but it makes me think we'll see the top of this, and you could, start marking out your levels from there, like right here, right? You could easily come over here and just identify the next key level, and you could say that this 233 mark is what we'd be eyeballing at that point, so forth, and then up to the high here. So that is Matic in a nutshell, doing its thing. I do have some Matic, so this makes me very happy.
We like it juicy, sir.
Yeah, I me being happy is good for everyone. as you know.
That's very true.
The other one is going to be Tasos. I covered this one on Debate. This is also one, again, covered last week. Tasos, just a really great looking range in terms of overall global range. And why I chose it, and I told them this, is you have overlapping price action, meaning you've got a really, really nice range to trade off of in validation here. So I have some Tasos looking for this box here in the middle. And it's not just because it's a harmonic target. Obviously, those are there, right? So you can see that you've got everything from a nice bat to a butterfly, right? So you've got two harmonics that are both lining up with very nice. And then if it was to see any kind of like upside from there, you could actually put this into a shark, but I don't think that one's as likely. But one reason that this is such a really nice box to look for the completion of this, that's if you can, trigger for me would be living above $1.60. Get above $1.60, I think we'll see that box. And this is just a take profit area for me. But if you were to be looking at the overall gold pocket high to low, it does come in at the top of the range, but you can see that your reverse golden ratio, the 382, is 260. And then you could go ahead and start looking at the local gold pocket. So again, these are log scale. They do line up as well with Fibonacci convergence and linear. So we've got some things to say that this is a nice trade. So local high to low right here, gold pocket lining up with the 382. So you have two golden mean ratios there, plus a trend-based 1618, the ultimate golden mean ratio, which that's what it means. If you were to Google it, that's what's going to show you coming in as well. So this is a big box for me in a place that I'll be looking to lock in some gains. That's all I've got. I'll turn it over to Max. I know normally we don't do that, but looks like we're getting some movement. So.
Myself, there we are, I'm muted. Yeah, I'm literally just staring at the order flow on it. So let's get to it. Share my screen. So, I mean, what we're looking for here, and I said to this to Magic before we went on, I did take a little short here, but to be honest with you, I was expecting it to be taken again. The reason being is you really didn't have a volume spike. So if you're looking at the high that was made, it was on 6.9 million. It just isn't enough to really convince you that, this little trend that we've got going on is going to come to a reversal. So I did use half a position size. Now, looking at the volume, what you'd really expect is something this is on the 5-minute chart. If you get something high 20s, maybe low 30s, and then you start to turn around right at the end of the move, that can be, a convincing sign that the trend's starting to change. So that's what I'm currently keeping an eye out for. Also, if we get a load of buyers come in that become trapped, or a really strong move with shorts entering, they're the two things that I'm really looking for here. But as you keep taking the previous highs, we're just about to take another one now at 20,980. And that is the alert for it. So the higher we go here, as long as it doesn't have that pullback and starts to claim some of these levels, it's going to look good. But if I scroll back through the charts, the thing that I want to show you all today is actually how good CVD has actually been on the lower term timeframes. So this morning, you had CVD being built up from the session open till around literally until the pop came up where you started to really move up. It was actually a member in the group, Danny, that posted about it. And it was, a solid little move. Granted, the open interest was down a little bit, but, it is certainly showing, you have candles like this where there's negative 1.6 million open interest on a pretty stagnant, stagnant open interest on a negative 1.6 million delta, just showing you that, okay, those positions were changing hands. So thus someone's building a big long, and you had in specific areas, a lot of shorts enter the market, and you can expect them to be squeezed, and they were. And then again up here throughout the middle of the day for most of the Americans, you guys were sleeping at this point. You had a CVD, bearish CVD this time, and it offered you a great trade. You know, offered you if you used the stop take profit of the VWAP, offered you pretty much the exact low. And let's have a look at what we've got here. The move up's been, somewhat interesting. You had this huge, very high volume candle, and it kind of just went both ways. There was no way to really, look at that and define, whether this is strength or not. Reason being is, open interest isn't really telling you anything, nor is the delta. The interesting candle actually comes when it started to reverse. When you took these highs here, people obviously, if I mark it out, let's mark out these highs. Let's do that. So as the pre-markets opened, as soon as we lost the highs that were made earlier, you had a huge amount of shorts enter. 7.1 million there, 2.1, 1.6 million there. You've got huge selling imbalances there. Open interest was increasing. So was the delta was really negative. So, a lot of shorts entered there. And in reality, they failed to really do anything. And all the ground that they gained with all their shorting was quickly reclaimed in the next couple candles. So you could literally have expected them to be squeezed out virtually instantly. And you could see it as soon as the high was taken, you got 2.8 million there. And it continued up. But I would say there's probably still more in the bag to be squeezed. Because that is a large amount of shorts that entered down there. And it looks like there's still some entering here, 3.1 million there. I reckon you've got probably still some in the bag to go a bit higher. I'm actually going to move over to TradingView. I want to see where that last high is at. Sorry, everyone. That last high is up there. But I actually don't have anything else in the order flow CVO. So if you do want to take over, by all means, do so.
Beautiful, sir. Always a fun time when we get some movement on the stream.
Indeed.
All right. You're all set?
All good, man.
All right, perfect. We'd like to show your face really big. All right, everybody. So weekly roundup, right? So once again, we do this Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, a slew of altcoins, generally the S&P 500, and pretty much, whatever the flavor of the week is at the time as well. So taking, the same approach here on Ethereum that we've had for several months at this point, but definitely, just been covering this same chart essentially this whole week as well. You're really not coming up and doing anything crazy at the moment, right? We're really coming up and just hitting our head back around these highs, which, looking at this chart here, doesn't really look like we're, coming into anything specific, right? You're coming in, you got a lot of, cluster of price action over here. But when we take a look, right, back to that old range that we were really working off of on the way down, this is where we identified our low targets, our point of control after we broke 1665 way back in the day, right? This was back in June, I think, even. Wow. Anyhow, you can see, however, we're coming up to the range high, right? So really that area to beat is still that level, which is essentially right where we're at, give or take. It's basically 641. I know we're at like 650, so a couple dollars higher right now. So, but you can see that we've just kind of wicked above here a couple times. Really want to see this start closing some candles above here, preferably at least a 4 hour from there, probably taking it back up towards our... going to probably challenge up into this weekly up here about 1767. Otherwise, still looking down towards this quarterly key level if we catch the rejection here. And that is the sandwich of two major areas at play at the moment. Crushing through this, say we just break right through this over the weekend. We do have our daily level here at 2054, an untapped monthly, which is a big, average price up here coming in right at about 2200. And then the overall range high does come up about 2385, golden pocket 2552 to 2639. So those would be the higher side targets here for Ethereum in the short run here. One coin, Magic did a really good job of covering Matic. That's been, a pretty technical chart, just very similar to anything else. DOGE was recently, pushing pretty high on honestly a technical side. Gets drowned out by some news, but just trying not to get too wrapped up in that. What were we going to see? Oh, Loopring. Someone was, bringing that up, that Loopring was going just ham sandwich, as Magic would say. And I just want to take a look at that with everybody here. Going to update this a little bit more in the group later, but total T crossing $1 trillion. Market is just running, right? So, all right. So taking a look here at Loopring. I got a couple things on it, right? So just kind of breaking this down on our members only market update, right? So we do that twice a week. Do it on Sunday night after the weekly close, and we do it on Wednesday night. So on Wednesday night, we went over how a lot of the October ranges here, we're basically getting ran for a lot of these altcoins. So that's what I've highlighted here, right? We had basically just a nice rotation in the range, basically rotated it right back down. It came through here and actually got a nice break, right? So this is on the 4-hour time frame. If you zoom this in, which I'll do here in a second, you'll see, when you start to get these areas, you get alerts. Set them, come check it out, start looking on the lower time frame, 15-minute chart. You could see very clearly where we broke above, claimed some of these levels and moved on. But where are we right now, right? So when we did get this break, what were we looking for after that, right? Which is going back to our larger range here, right? That we've been on about in the group for a while as well. We were living outside of that for quite a bit, right? So when you're deviating the range to the downside, obviously you're looking for, long entries essentially as you can come back in and get the reclaim, which we essentially did here on this massive pump, right? So not only did you have very similar, this is exactly what DOGE did the other day, actually. We were living within a smaller range, right? We broke out of that, got the reclaim into the larger area. At the moment it would, it's a little scary to some because you're technically buying, big green candle up of 26, 28, 30%. So you really have to have that game plan, set in place before you do something like that. And then you're going to have your targets mapped out, right? So from here, right, taking a look at here, zooming in and out of the 15 minutes. So I'll show you what we're talking about, right? So highlighted box is the smaller October range. Right, got the breakout. Let's just say you missed this one, right? You sold the high recently over here, and you were just looking for, the pull back to the low. Got that, that buy, got the sell again right here, and that's just how it can go when you're trading the range, right? You're going to have a lot of nice, wins along the way, but that last trade you're going to lose because essentially you would want to be looking to short here, going back down. Obviously, you get stopped out on this break. What are you looking for next? So we ran it up. Now we re-entered into that larger range, right? And if you zoom it in here on the smaller time frame, you can see here this 15-minute candles came up, got the reclaim right here, onward and upward we go, right? So next major target's going to be a point of control. Boom, got the claim. So from here, this is definitely not where you'd want to be buying, by the way. Now it's definitely diddling in the middle. The time has kind of came and went. I mean, you definitely have more upside potentially, but the risk for downside is now really there, right? You got RSI pushing 90 on the 4-hour time frame, and you just rallied to probably over 100%, right? Almost 100%, so 68%, sorry. But anyhow, if you're in the move already, you obviously wanted to have taken profits by now at the point of control. You got this daily level right here as well that we're living above, and possibly we're going to take it up and rotate this whole range in full, right? So coming up all the way to 64 cents is a possibility here. So pull back in the cards, of course, after a rally like this. So we'll see how things kind of play out, but we could very well just come up, hold this daily as support, and then run it to this region. So that's what I'd be looking for at a Loopring in, over the weekend or in the next coming days here. Phantom is another that has had a pretty decent little move here. Right, we were covering this on Tuesday, I believe. Could be wrong there. Either way, really nice, reaction off the lows right here, right? And then this is the same thing. If you were doing a shorter term, I put up these higher time frame ranges because this is a mid to long term play, right? And without any leverage, this is kind of the idea, right? Is you can identify where your major supports are coming in as you get to the value area lows. And then you can, identify and know that when we come up to things at the point of control, 35 cents or that untapped monthly or the range high, these are areas where you can consider taking some short-term profits, look for pullbacks, re-enter for just long midterm, plays. However, if you're looking at this on a short-term play as well, you came down, you lost the range here, and then you got that, we call it the easiest trade in the world, right? Because you came in, right? Got a nice little move here, but you lost it right here. Back up, reclaiming the range, and now that's exactly what you want to see, right? So then from there, onward and upward, ran it up, 3M, acted as a perfect resistance here, take profit level, of course. After that, you had a golden pocket, right? Just below here, did front run, got caught up on the quarterly VWAP right there. Depends on how you would have pulled this. I guess I pulled it from here last night, didn't I? So still front ran it. So regardless, 3M was the take profit area regardless. So from there, you got the next major target, which we are just coming into right now, which is an untapped quarterly key level, which is obviously now tapped. Major area of interest here for Phantom in the coming days. It's going to be this region right here. It's about a 10% window, right? 14%, sorry. About 31 cents up to 35 cents. And you got an untapped monthly, a daily, a point of control, and the golden pocket all stacked in that region. So for that, I'd really be looking to claim this quarterly at 28.9. But once again, we're having some really big pushes across the board. So if you weren't already positioned in some things, this is probably not a great time to be actively, jumping in after all the rallies and coming into major resistances pretty much across the board. So HBAR actually doing decent as well. And I say that it's not really moving. I guess it's pretty much in the same spot, but it's not crashing. So I guess that's always a plus for HBAR. Really have been grinding it out at the lows, right? So this has also been one that I just think has a lot of upside potential. There's a lot of really key targets that I've been paying attention for over the last few weeks here. And I think that if things get underway here, that we have have a really good chance of meeting some of these. Obviously, you got the point of control up here at about almost 9 cents. Monthly key level, untapped daily, weeklies, untapped quarterly, overall value very high. So this is a really nice range. It's really large, 130%, right? Just to rotate it, just to basically do nothing, but just low to high. So that's something I've been really actively watching for quite some time. Obviously, losing the range low, things can change at that point. So that'd be your area to really be paying attention for the downside. You really don't want to start living below 0.058 cents again for too long, right? And DOGE. Might as well finish off the week strong with old DOGE, right? So DOGE, same deal, right? Similar, smaller range here. We've got the breakout, the reclaim. This would have been your entry. We also had the quarterly pivot down here as well. So you had a couple of areas here. If you missed any of those, then your next level you would have wanted to watch was the entry of this overall range here that we've been going on about for quite some time, right? So this was the opportunity, still is at hand. We were looking for a pullback around this region, right? Came up to the point of control into this weekly. Got a nice swing failure pattern right at the high, stopping everybody out of the short, essentially, that went short around this region because we did have a nice pullback for a little bit. I know everybody's trying to short this off the weekend because it had like an 80% push into Monday. And then we basically, like I said, had this run up, pretty much stopped everybody out and then actually started pulling the move off. So untapped monthly is still a major target for me to the downside here at 11 cents. You've also got the golden pocket in this daily region, comes back all the way to this peak. And we also had a bearish bat that finished off right here as well. So right there. So target with that is also your B leg in confluence with the golden pocket as well. So over time, still looking for that. Not guaranteed by any means we have to get down to this region, but the untapped monthly to me is probable to come down to 11 cents. All right, and that is all I got really for altcoins. That's pretty much the wrap up. I know Max has got a possible swing failure pattern he wants to touch on before we finish up, and yeah. Turn it over to you, Max, if you want to throw it up there.
Yeah, sure. So as we can see, we've had quite the move up as CVO was talking then. And yeah, interesting candles. So we got the really high volume, actually on 2-minute chart here. We got the really high volume that I just mentioned just previously, very high delta, and the open interest doesn't really correlate with it. So you can see the huge amount of liquidations here. When you get the really big green dots like that, that means there's many thousands, if not million dollars. Well, it says 192 there, but I think that's that big bubble there. But there's plenty in there of liquidations, and the open interest isn't really fitting with the volume nor the delta. So one can take the place of there's be some positions changing hands there. You also had some shorts enter, which is a good and a bad thing. Yes, you do want shorts to enter, but you really want them to push, rather than get stuck and the price just play around with the entry. You really want them to push it down. So for now, that one's causes a little bit of issues. And again, this one here where we've got more shorts entering, they really need to take the previous week high here, or lose it, sorry, for this price action to not come back and buy the shorts, and for the SFP to really get in full swing. Because as soon as there's a loss of it, all the people that are long will spot the SFP, and it will trigger them shorting or closing their longs. It might even trigger them to open shorts. Everyone that's on the sidelines here, it will trigger them to open their shorts. It will bring together all three of the market participants: the people on the sidelines, the shorters who will probably double down on their positions, and the people that are long, and it will force them to close their positions. So as Magic has stated in the chat there, it's really important for the upside that it gets held. But if you're looking for a short, without a doubt, that's the level to lose. And you want to see, it would be great if we could see some buyers come in, maybe fail to push us any higher, and then selling starts to take place. Really, that's really what you want. Now, if I go to a lower time frame, see if I can get it on the 1 minute here. We definitely did have some buyers come in a minute ago. See if I've got it here. Yeah, so you can see it here. So you had some buyers come in to the market. You can spot the open interest increase, the positive delta, and they did nothing really. So you have got trapped traders up here as well. But again, with the shorts that keep coming in, if they fail to push it down, the more that they enter and fail to lose, the more it looks likely that we'll get another squeeze up. But really important level to hold that the previous week high. And that's actually it. Magic, do you want to add anything? Have I missed anything? I don't believe I have.
Nice.
But, yeah. All good.
All right.
No, we're good, man. I was looking at the same thing you are. I was just kind of got my alerts set, basically.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Well, everybody, got some active levels and some activity going on around us. So hope you all have enjoyed this weekly roundup here, enjoyed the week with us here. 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll be back on Monday. If you are interested in joining the Leading Crypto Discord server, we will have our members only exclusive live update on Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern after the weekly close. I'm also going to be dropping a new GRT chart and Avalanche .algo ADA, a couple others in there today as well, if for anybody that's interested in coming in and taking a peek at those. We do have a general public area where you can come in and ask questions, make requests, things of that nature as well if you don't want to join at the moment. And aside from that, just wish everybody a great fun weekend, touch some grass, make some trades, be safe, and until next time, everybody, cheers.